This video is about to get very surgical. Everybody a thug till them lights pull up, and everybody got a gun until ICE pull up. A middle finger to the president, cause I ain't too impressed. How the fuck you kicking niggas out? Ain't you niggas guess, so it's death to... I ain't gonna lie, Kendrick is diabolical, bro. Like, dude is playing 5D chess in real time. This song is starting to feel like a time capsule, right? That just continues to be peeled back further and further as time goes on. You feel what I'm saying? Like, the more time passes, the more is uncovered in this song. And there's some things on this song that I'm still not clear about. But after everything that's been going on that has opened up this song again, I'm convinced that at a certain date, whether it's this year, next year, or whatever, we're going to understand the totality of this song when it's all said and done. We're going to understand clearly, everyone is going to understand clearly the totality of everything that is being said in this song because, bro, once again, the rabbit hole around this situation just got deeper, bruh. Okay? Now, number one, before we get started, I want to say a few things. There's a reason I'm calling this a part one, okay? I'm about to give y'all a movie on this whole situation. Okay, so you're not going to get everything that I want to give y'all right now. You feel what I'm saying? But it's going to be enough for you to understand where I'm going. And it's going to be enough for you to really, you know what I'm saying, break it down and understand where we taking it for the next video. The part two is where I'm going to be giving y'all the movie. Because it's a whole lot based on what we just found out, right? That correlates to what I'm about to break down right now. This is getting crazy, bruh. All right? Now, like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here and especially if you've been here. And if you don't want to subscribe yet, subscribe. You end up liking the video. Also, I just got some more shirts. Some more is about to get surgical shirts. You feel what I'm saying? Go ahead and grab those. These are the OG versions, and they about to be done. I'm about to move on to a different design, so if you want to grab the last few, go ahead. I'll tag it in the products. Also, shout out to everybody that's been playing F-Ice. Shout out to everybody that's been streaming and downloading. I will put it in the pinned comments and the description. But we ain't got to do too much more talking, bro. Let's get right to it, okay? So, Rebel Wilson, right, has a PR team, okay? And this PR team has been caught plotting against a producer, right? And what they've been plotting is to smear this producer as a trafficker, right? Without any form of evidence, right? Their plan is to smear a producer without any form of evidence. Stay with me, okay? This is the audio that they found.
Oh, also, talked about Rebel. Like, here's the deal with Rebel, and I think you, me, and Brian, and maybe Katie, since she'll write this thing. What we have to do is the biggest piece here is that we have to connect Amanda Ghost with Vlotnik. And I was just like, so basically what we need to do is we need to create a path where we expose Amanda Ghost as like the new Heidi Fleiss. Like she masquerades as the reason why she sucks so bad at music is because she's actually getting hookers for Vlotnik, right? And that's what she does. She's an absolute madam, and that's why she's so lethal, blah, blah, blah. But he's right. Like, we can't just do like, oh, she's a bitch, she sucks. It's like, it's gotta be really, really heavy and connected to something that heavy. So we'll talk about that tomorrow too.
So, essentially, right, they were gearing up to push this smear campaign and got caught on the audio. And this goes back, right, and I'm going to be providing all this stuff in the next video. But this goes back to a lot of things that have been happening recently where I didn't jump out the window just to be the morality police. I didn't jump out the window just to prove to people, right, that I don't like certain things and all the different stuff. I had to really see, like, okay, with the Pusha T and the Jay-Z situation, with the Epstein and all that. It was very easy, and I'm telling you, I was in the spaces and all of that. I'm talking 99% of people, even people who like those artists, were ready to condemn them without really doing any type of research, right? And the number one thing that was on my mind during this time was, bruh, clearly you can see people are at a struggle for influence here. So to try to deny the fact that this could simply be a malicious attempt to use information that people aren't going to do their due diligence on, right, in order to show people or in order to smear people and turn people against them, right? If you're not willing to do the due diligence and search that up, these times are going to be difficult for you. The very first stream I did this year on January 1st was about that specifically. That in order, right, for us to do the right, and including me, I had to become way more responsible with my platform because of the amount of misinformation and smearing that's going to go against certain artists in order to spin things back into the favor of those guys. You get what I'm saying? So, let's keep reading. A public relations team working for Rebel Wilson allegedly plotted to take down a Hollywood producer by accusing her of trafficking, and they might have been caught on audio doing it. A new recording allegedly captures Jed Wallace, the head of a crisis public relations firm, oh my goodness, telling publicist Melissa Nathan to claim Amanda Ghost, a co-producer on Wilson's film The Deb, worked as a madam producing young girls for rich men, right? Take a listen for yourself. Wallace suggests exposing Ghost as the new Heidi Fleiss, who of course infamously ran a Hollywood prostitution ring in the early 90s. Brian Friedman, the attorney representing Justin Baldoni in his ongoing legal case against Blake Lively, is also mentioned during the voice note first reported by the Hollywood Reporter. Friedman was Rebel's lawyer at the time, and if the other names, Wallace and Nathan, sound familiar, that's because they were also on Baldoni's crisis PR team that's currently accused of smearing Lively. Second verse, same as the first, right? Now, some of y'all wondering, okay, I think some of y'all already being able to put this together and see how this relates to the 616 in LA, and we about to get that to a second. I need you to stay with me the whole time. As for Wilson and Ghost case, a now deleted website, once again, a now deleted website, oh my goodness, called Amanda Ghost is the Destroyer of Worlds, accused the producer of leaving her failing music career behind by reinventing herself as a theatrical producer alongside her husband while really procuring young women for the pleasure of the extremely wealthy. So all of these things, right, as of recently, and I think it's because they've seen what's been going on, right? They've seen what's been going on as far as all the information that's been coming out about the files, all the information that's been coming out in connection to even artists like Drake, etc., right? And how those things have been coming out prior to the battle, and Kendrick Lamar just ended up rapping about these things, which enhanced the conversation, right? And these things are now being used in order to destroy careers unjustly without any of the things connecting to this, and that, or whatever, right? And it's because people aren't willing to do the due diligence, right? So here, Ghost and her other Deb co-producers are involved in a defamation lawsuit with Wilson after she accused them, boom. Jed Wallace's lawyer, Chip Babbitt of Jackson Walker, issued a statement. The judge in the It Ends With Us case sealed the audio file to prevent exactly this sort of out-of-context speculation, and accordingly, he cannot comment directly about it, including whether the audio file is authentic. We note that he has been dismissed from the case and denies that he has also participated in a so-called smear campaign against Blake Lively or anyone else. So this is not new. None of this is new. Now, this is one thing I will say, okay? With AI and the ramping of AI in recent memory, it is going to be very important to do your due diligence and break things down, right? Because anybody can drop a video or audio of anybody saying anything right now, and people are going to run with it because of AI. You can make it seem like somebody's on the phone having a conversation or boom, boom, saying all this different stuff, and the whole time it's just some AI audio. You get what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the move, if that's one of the moves coming up. But like I said, part 2, trust me, we look, it's gonna get, we about to get so surgical in part 2. Listen, but let's keep going, okay? Stay with me now. This is another article about the Rebel Wilson situation, and this is where things get very, very interesting, right? Rebel Wilson's PR team potentially caught plotting trafficking accusations against Hollywood producer. A public relations team working with Rebel Wilson allegedly planned to take down a Hollywood producer by accusing her of trafficking, according to leaked audio. The audio allegedly contains a recording of digital fixer Jed Wallace talking to entertainment publicist Melissa Nathan. Melissa's other celebrity clients, including Johnny Depp and guess who? Aubrey Graham. Okay, so what they're going to try to do, right, is try to paint this as, well, no, that actually Drake is signed to something that they're going to try to misdirect, deflect, and give people information that doesn't really align with anything. And the people that want, right, to believe that Drake has no relations to this are going to run with that narrative. They're going to use that narrative to combat what's going on. It's just, you know what I'm saying? At this point, they're not really trying to convince anybody but the people who already believe what they're talking about, and maybe some neutrals. But in reality, if you have common sense, you can see what's going on. On top of the fact, we've been talking about this on this channel for how long? For a year and some change. And people keep trying to put the stand thing on everybody and boom, boom, and all this different stuff. We've been talking about this, okay? And this thing is starting to unravel itself. Let's keep going. Jed appears to tell Melissa to assert without evidence that Amanda Ghost, Rebel's co-producer, worked as a Hollywood madam producing young girls with wealthy men. Boom, boom, all this different stuff, right? Let's see if they got some different information in here. Right, it goes over what was said here. Boom. But really, the number one thing here is the relations and the clients and the involvement right here with Johnny Depp and Drake, right? And some people will say just because Melissa had those clients as well, it doesn't mean anything. Part 2 will have you looking at things a little differently than that. For sure. For sure. I'm telling you. Okay? And the only reason I'm not doing it at that level right now is because I want to get y'all this information quickly right now, give you a background so I can give you a continuation, and I think that's going to fit better. Okay? Now, with all of that in mind, let's go back to 616 in LA. Man, listen. Listen, bro. I don't know if, like, Kendrick Lamar is so many steps ahead at this point that I'm starting to really understand why Drake is so cautious. I'm starting to really understand why there is such a cerebral energy around Kendrick Lamar and everyone in that camp. Why it's so difficult to deal with them, even with the narratives, because the narratives never stick. There's been about 190 narratives since the battle that has been used against Kendrick Lamar. And even the stuff that has been lies, all this different stuff, right, that we have been covering for a year and some change has not been able to stick. And I believe that there is a reason why Kendrick Lamar and all these guys are moving with a certain energy and cerebralness. Even with Punch, with the, talking about referencing the what's it called in the track that he had for Michael Eric Dyson. You know what I'm saying? Referencing biblical times and all that, which we're gonna get to as well next Sunday. There's a certain level of certainty that they have that this is over already. That this is everything has been decided. that Drake and all these guys are fighting for their lives and moving with a false confidence that you can clearly see. There's a false confidence that's been being pushed and used by that side. And you can tell because the internet is all they really got. They're using the internet narratives in order to try to influence the real world, not realizing a whole lot of the world is not directly connected to the internet. There's too much of the world that isn't directly connected to the internet for the internet to be what is going to be your pushing platform, especially when you aren't able to get your narrative across strong enough to get at least the majority of people to believe in what you're believing in. It's manufacturing consent 101, and it looks terrible. The same way that the manufacturing consent for the war in Iran and what we did to Venezuela and all that is failing. It's failing for them too, bro. It's not working. Okay? Now, I really want to go over this part of the verse just because I love it. And that's what I'm going to do because this is my video. Let's just take a quick little break before we get to the second verse, start breaking down. Bro, right here, this part is so immaculate because now that we look at everything that's been going on, like we all knew that this was a prayer, really, in a sense. And saying like, I know what's going to be the cost of doing what I'm about to do. I know that even when I talk to God, my confession, whatever that confession is yours. But who am I if I don't do this? You feel what I'm saying? I think this song is connected to Reincarnated as well. And we don't know the order in which all those songs came out, which is interesting. But if you look at it from this perspective, bro, it's like, dog, let's just get to the other thing, bro, before I start going on a rant. Somebody's lying. I can smell the vibes on act. Even he looking compromised. Let's peel the layers back. Ain't no brownie points for beating your chest, harassing that. Effing when good people make good people go to bat. Conspiracies about Cash Doll, that's not even the leak. Find the jewels like Cash Doll. I just need you to think. Now, all of this in connection to what we finding out about these PR systems feels like some information that's about to come out, right? That's going to confirm what Kendrick is talking about here. For me, maybe some of y'all really do understand what's being said here, but for me, this still has a big question mark surrounding it that I think will be revealed in due time, right? But this is where it gets interesting. You can't Tootsie slide up out of this one. It's just going to resurface. Every dog got to have his day. Now living your purpose. It was fun until you started to put money in the streets, then lost money because they came back with no receipts. I'm sorry that I live a boring life. I love peace, but war ready if the world is ready to see you bleed. Now, the interesting part is with the propaganda that's being pushed, and let's say that, this firm was going to use the information that Drake was looking to gather in order to push these narratives against Kendrick Lamar. When they came back with no receipts, they had to go for the nearest best thing. The thing that I believe was planted on Kendrick back then in order to be used as an angle or in order to defame him later on. That's what I believe. I believe that Kendrick catches on to this, which is why, right, songs like Mortal Man comes out. That was his combat or his counterattack to that narrative. That's just my theory, right? Why wouldn't these PR firms then, and this is what I say about the battle. I believe Family Matters was supposed to be a nuke, not because of the quality of the song, not because of the ability of what Drake was actually doing on the song, but because the PR firm was going to create the smear campaign and amplify that narrative and push it against Kendrick Lamar, right? Which is what we're going to save that. But that's what I think is what was going to happen. And I've been saying that. But now that we have this whole thing confirmed, we probably understand and know that's what was going to happen. That's how Drake was going to win the battle. And that's how Family Matters was going to go number one, which would have had him broke Michael Jackson's record. It would have been a flawless victory for Drake in all areas of the release of the song. Actually, I want to do a video on his strategy for that song and go a little deeper on it, providing all this information. But because Kendrick Lamar dropped Meet the Grams, which is actually set up by this song, right? All of that went down in the Danae side, okay? So, right. No, the wires in your circle should puzzle you, which I think is a reference to the people that are not, the people that are against Drake on the low and leaking the information against Drake. If you were street smart, then you would have caught that your entourage is only to hustle you. Now, let's keep moving. But let me tell you some game, because I can see you, my little homie. You playing dirty with propaganda, it blow up on you. You're playing nerdy with Zach Bia and Twitter bots, but your reality can't hide behind Wi-Fi. So now, and we've already had an idea what he was talking about here, but now with this PR thing coming out, this hits even harder, right? Because he hasn't stopped from using the PR system in order to defame artists. And we're going to talk about the times that he's done that in the next video, right? He hasn't stopped since the battle. As a matter of fact, he's picked it up even further and is now using it to gain footing before he drops his project, which is why I think we shouldn't listen to it or react to it. But that's just my opinion. Don't go start a whole thing, you feel what I'm saying? That's just my perspective, and you can have yours, okay? Now, your little memes is losing steam. They figured you out. The forced opinions is not convincing. Y'all need a new route. It's time that you look around for who's around you before you ask that you're not alone. Ask what Mike would do. Now, once again, the forced opinions is not convincing. Y'all need a new route. If you're not able to use, right, what's actually out there, which is what Kendrick did. What people are going to do is, didn't you see what Drake did? How was that not a smear campaign? Have you not seen the last 2 years? The issue is nothing false was being used, right? Everything that we've been seeing, we've already seen all the awkward behavior, all the awkward statements, and etc. being used against Drake, and Kendrick just talked about those things. That's it. Now, a lot of those actions are confirmed by what we can actually see. Anything that's being pitted against Kendrick Lamar, you can't actually see these things. You can't actually find these things. There's no actual connection to anything that's being put against Kendrick Lamar. That's just a fact. You get what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, people are using people around Kendrick Lamar to try to use something to take down Kendrick Lamar, which we're going to get to as well. Okay? And ultimately, what I'm trying to say here is, with all of this information, this hits a whole lot harder. Connected with, so if you got the campaign ready to go, you also got Twitter bots and Zach Bia and all this stuff ready to push your narrative on Twitter. You also got your platforms on Instagram. You also got the smaller content creators who are now using content to discredit Kendrick Lamar fans. You see what I'm saying? We see what y'all doing, by the way. Y'all not slick. All of this is coming together, right? You see Michael Eric Dyson coming out with his propaganda. You see the 50 Cents of the world trying to do what he's doing while trying to masquerade the fact that he's not connected to everything that's going on. This is very clearly a huge smear campaign that's being built and ready to go coming up, right? Because all this stuff isn't working. The only thing that they get to do is get more desperate. And that's exactly what we're going to cover and break down in part 2. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to give y'all a set date for part 2 because I'm extremely busy coming up. You feel what I'm saying? That video is going to have to be very well put together. But I promise y'all, within this next week, most likely this week, if not this week, at the top of next week, we talking Monday. No later than Monday, you will be getting to part 2, and we finna get surgical. I'm telling you, okay? And I'm excited. I'm super excited. I got all my notes together. Now I just got to do the recording and break it all down. But for now, this is all I'm going to leave y'all with. You feel what I'm saying? And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to y'all about. This is what I'm going to leave y'all with before we get into the next breakdown, and I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. I really got to get this Patreon going, bro, because a lot of stuff I'm not going to say on here And I'm not even going to say in my part 2, but I will say on the Patreon, because a lot of this stuff is deeper. Okay, but I don't want to put that out into the. I only want that for the people who's willing to come do. You feel what I'm saying? So absolutely, we're gonna get this rolling. I'm very close to building enough content where I'm comfortable enough to release the Patreon, so that I'm not building content for y'all in the process. Y'all already gonna have the content ready to go and have a consistent schedule of a numerous amount of things being sent y'all way. You feel what I'm saying? But like I said, I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. Y'all go check out that song F Ice. I appreciate everybody that's been streaming. I appreciate everybody that's been showing love. I appreciate everybody that's been downloaded. Take your time to play that song if you haven't. I'm going to keep promoting it until you play it. And I got I got a lot of stuff coming, a lot more music coming. You feel what I'm saying? That I know y'all going to love, especially if y'all love F Ice, and especially y'all love that real hip hop. I got a lot more coming from y'all. I'm super excited to let y'all see it. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Make sure y'all grab a shirt. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna tag that in the product, so be ready. And yeah, you feel me? The content for this next couple weeks is gonna be amazing, in my opinion. We going live too later on today. The goal is to go live at 1 p.m. I'm also supposed to be going on the round table after that, which is gonna be around 4:30 and 5. Super excited for that. And yeah, it's gonna be fire. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna catch y'all. Y'all have a great day, all right?